Hey, spoilers obviously, is a video about 10 Gokaiger. My opinions on it, just watched it. Great movie, didn't feel long enough. But why didn't it feel long enough? So, first of all, it goes straight into it. First minute, the Blue Ranger just sat there with a normal gun in his hand, just pointing and shoots randomly. And it just feels so off. And then it goes to a fight between Captain Marvelous and the Silver Ranger. And it's just like, alright then. But instead of finishing that fight, it stops, shows us how it got to that fight, and it continues. I'd lost interest in the first fight by then. That fight should have been left to that fight. And maybe just had the better start. And it was wrong how the Green Ranger didn't have his Ranger key. Because it would have been so much cooler if he had just gone up to the kids who were raving about, oh, Super Sentai, this Ranger, this Ranger, this Ranger, and just went, Gokai change, Gokaiger. Just sat with them as the Green Ranger. It would have been a meaningless scene, but it would have looked cool as hell. Just him sat there and making these random kids happy for the few seconds. And then just move on with his day. But the fighting as well. We didn't see enough full team fights. We seen one big fight that felt more like we're still split off, but we're in the same sort of area. There should have been 2 or 3 fights where they were all together fighting. An extra hour and a half for this film would have done it wonders. Because straight off the bat, we see a whole 1 cameo in this, which is the Silver Major. And he's there for all 15 seconds. Which, great. We don't need more than that. But it would have been nice to see maybe a few more of the Rangers that came out in the past decade. And just would have looked nice. Maybe show off a gear or 2. Like, I know gears aren't their thing, but show off the gold Zenkaiger's gear, with the Zenkaiger just using it and laughing because he's watching these people he's based off fighting whilst he doesn't have to. He just has a bit of a laugh and leaves. Would have been funny, or would have been another meaningless scene that just makes the movie that bit better. Because the whole thing of Gokaiger is, we are legacy. But it didn't really feel like legacy anymore. It felt like, we're just returning. Show us Lucky. Show us someone. Just show us 2 or 3 characters more than it showed us. And, okay, the characters all felt a bit off. That might have just been because I didn't finish Gokaiger, because the start of it was terrible. I'm sorry. It was terrible. I got bored episode in episode. I made it to about episode 13 maybe before getting bored of it. I know that's a controversial opinion, but yeah. And I thought, I have a while to kill. Let's watch Gokaiger 10. And it was a great film. I think the villains should have had more villains, not just bodies. Maybe have had either some unique henchmen for this, or bring back the Gokaiger henchmen and just have them morphed using Ranger keys. Because then it would have made sense why they went from, I fart on you and you're dead, ha, nerd, to huge battle, finally it's dead. And Captain Marvelous had the whole thing of killing 100 Rangers. It would have been cool if we'd seen like a quick snapshot of each way. He's just like maybe flipped over, say, Lucky, stabbing king. There's so much he could have done that's just a second or two that would have improved it. Don't get me wrong, love the movie. It's just these little nitpicks I was thinking of. And I think it shouldn't have went straight into what I'm assuming is a Kira Major spoiler. Haven't had time to finish that yet. But yeah, but doesn't matter too much. It's not like the worst thing in the world. And have like, one thing I did like though is how they were morphing without the Mobirates quite a lot. But then I didn't like how they randomly used it. It went from, they were just holding their keys and going, Gokai change. And then it would have went the Gokaiger to using the Mobirates for the like Megazord form. Just have a new item used that's similar to a Mobivirus, not just an extension. That's personally what I think. And I feel like the mid-credit scene was very stupid. They could have expanded Gokaiger 2 or 3 movies. I don't know what the box office for this movie was, or the budget, but looked very high budget. And I'm gonna Google it now. Box office 10 Gokaiger. It made on release date, opening night, $288,000 US. And then that's just release night, remember? And then budget. I can't find it, but it probably made profit. Gokaiger was huge. They could have had it set up for a few more adventures, showing the Sentai world around Gokaiger. It would have been amazing. Show off these few more villain groups that the Gokaigers have to deal with again. Maybe introduce another pirate. It would be great. Fans love Gokaiger. And now we know Sentai's get sequels because Zenkaiger got Don Brothers. Why can't Gokaiger have Gokaiger 2? Like, I think another run of Gokaiger would do it justice. I didn't personally love Gokaiger, but I'll finish watching it eventually. Maybe it gets better. I'll have to find out. But if it's anything like the movie, I will love the rest. And a sequel would also be very nice. My next video will be Gokaiger 10. How it could be adapted for an American Super Mega Force, the movie. And yeah, I'll see you then. Goodbye.